Welcome to Fix-It Pioneer Support, where we help you stay Fix-It compliant and efficient. So today's question comes from ADHD Degree. Every time I play, I get up to making a turbofuel factory, then burn out. I want to play again and I feel a desire to start fresh, but I know the same thing will happen again if I do. How could I motivate myself to pick up the existing save and push through the later phases? Well, that is a good question, and we will get to that. But first, please consider helping to feed Wilbur. He loves eating likes and subscribes. And you can have further support him by going to patreon.com, Pioneer Support. And there you'll find some maps and blueprints for all of my saves. All right, on to the question. You know, the question implies that you quote-unquote have to make turbofuel. You don't. You can overbuild your coal. You can go directly to nuclear if you so desire. So as an example here, this is a coal power plant I made for an older save. But this started out as, I think, six of the coal power plants running just off of one of the coal mines over here, coal nodes. And, I kept expanding because I just kind of wanted to build out coal. And right now it's doing pretty darn well. Like, it's making a lot of power. So, as you can see. And I think this is running on regular coal. Yep. So, just because the game unlocks turbofuel or unlocks nuclear or unlocks, plutonium nuclear, whatever it is, you still have choices. Now, that being said, each coal power plant, puts out 75 megawatts. That's not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but, then what'll happen is you'll be eventually limited by coal, and your coal to power ratio is going to be pretty low. But if you make compacted coal, as an example, you will stretch your coal by combining it with sulfur, because compacted coal burns a lot slower in coal power plants, which means you can make a lot more power plants. Or you can overclock your power plants, which I don't really recommend doing, but you could. So, to answer your question, if you want to pick up that old save, I assume you have coal power. God help you if you don't, because that means you got a lot of biomass burners. But yeah, I would suggest that. You already have built it. You know how to build coal power. Great. So expand on it. And when you get to the point where you have expanded as much as you can from your coal deposits that you're exploiting, then look into making compacted coal and feed compacted coal into your coal power plants and make more of those. So that way you sort of bypass the whole idea of having to do turbofuel. That being said, I will be doing a video on making turbofuel power later on. So keep an eye out for that and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified about it. All right. Hopefully this helps a little bit. And if there's any other questions for anybody watching this, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to make a video. Thanks.